The past 4 decades has, of course, seen a significant rise in the number of humans, both in the West and in the East, interested in spiritual awakening and attaining enlightenment. There's been a huge increase in those seeking and practicing established paths like Buddhism, the Vedas, yoga, and bhakti, as well as certain new takes on the ancient scriptures like the power of now and neo-Advaita. Interest has become high in certain approaches and concepts like non-duality. So it may be useful for some to clarify what Advaita and non-duality really indicate and what is truly available and not available within any philosophy or concept, including non-duality. Non-duality has nothing to offer. This message, this isness, this clarity has nothing to offer. It's not therapeutic. Non-duality has nothing, with a capital N, to offer. Why does the truth of non-duality have nothing to offer? Why does the clarity of non-duality offer no help in your life? Why does even the deepest, fullest, most intuitive understanding of non-duality change nothing? And why does the apparent feeling of freedom and peace we seem to get upon discovering and realizing the non-dual truth, or the bliss we experience in our deepest non-dual meditations, not stick, not stay with us when we dive back into our lives, jobs, relationships, and our bodies and body sensations? We discover non-duality, and we realize that this is all an illusion, a dream, merely an appearance, that this is simply nothing appearing as everything for no reason, that everything is both real and unreal, emptiness appearing to take on form. And we think, oh wow, I get it. It's just a dream, just nothing, empty space appearing as everything. I don't have to worry about achieving anything, about pleasing God or anyone else, about being worthy. I don't have to worry about attaining enlightenment. And for a while, we experience a vast, boundless feeling of freedom, as if a huge weight has lifted off our shoulders, as if we have awakened. And maybe we write to Teja and say, wow, Teja, you've completely opened my eyes and turned my life around. I feel so light, so free. But sooner or later, the other messages start flowing in, often from the same awakened ones. Teja, what happened to my freedom? I feel I'm suffering again. I feel I'm stuck in me again. I know I totally got it, but somehow I seem to have lost the truth again. Or some bad things are happening in my life, and they're pulling me inexorably back into the ego identification again. Or, the most common one, I feel so blissful and free in meditation and satsang But within a few minutes or hours of returning to my everyday working life, family life, that feeling seems to evaporate, and I'm back stuck in the dream story again. Yeah, you got non-duality. Don't doubt yourself. You got that it's all an illusion. Nothing, this nothing being everything. Certainly, you got it and really, really understood it. That it's all a dream. All except you. It's all a dream except you. It's all the dream, but you are still a real entity, the not dream. You're still you, a real you. See, you think because you got it when Teja confirmed it was all a dream, really got it, like the scales falling from your eyes, like the total vast cloud of illusion evaporating, leaving clear seeing, that armed with this new revelation, this new wisdom, you can somehow stand aside at a distance looking back at the dream. But who's looking back at it? You could somehow retain you, still retain you, looking back at the dream as if you now know. Instead of there being no one looking back or knowing anything. But is that non-duality? Is that the complete and utter death and vaporizing of the false me, the false two, leaving only one, leaving nothing but what is? Just whatever appears to be happening to no one. Phenomena apparently rising and passing out of the emptiest, non-locatable nothing to absolutely no one, for absolutely no one, for no reason, causeless and effectless. Endless apparent objects flowing by, flowing onward, without a subject. Endless only being. Inside no space. With the not you as the non-locatable space everything appears in. Every apparent moment wild, free, and unknown. Nothing to be known, nothing to be controlled. No, your illusory bound mind, wanting personal freedom, made it into a space you could perhaps let go into. Your finite self wanting infinity made it into a concept of infinity. A visualization of you unbound, stretching out in all directions. Your fearful, suffering, never wanting to die mind made it into a path, an applied philosophy, a religion, a practice that could give it illusory control over its scary, suffering life. Instead of allowing nothing to just be nothing and everything. What is to be what is. Wild, free, untamed, and unknown. You tried to make it into the known, your next personal wisdom and worldview, of which you can be certain and of which you can control and shield yourself from all of life's fear and uncertainty. Now you have a shiny new attitude, a vast, boundless perspective for the benefit of you. That's not non-duality. That's still two. That's still subject and object. Still thinking non-duality is a path that the illusory me can apply therapeutically to change what is into what isn't. Your idea of what would obviously be a better, more improved, more liberated what isn't. We're always so sure we know what would be better, more righteous, a better life experience for the you, now that you know something, now that you get non-duality and the dream. But non-duality is simply what is. The flow. Just what's happening, apparently. To no one, what appears to be happening includes everything. All the things the illusory me likes and all the things the illusory me doesn't like. Wishes would stop, go away, and leave them alone. Everything which appears to emerge from nothing. Everything. Which means non-duality is good for nothing. It's not good for solving your problems. It's not good for improving your life experience. It has no therapeutic value. It's especially not good for making you enlightened, awakened, liberated. Oneness is already one. Wholeness is already whole. Freedom is already wildly and infinitely free. You're hoping non-duality would furnish your personal life with boundless peace, bliss, wisdom, and freedom is just your me still in the dream, still dreaming the story of me, and eventually enlightened me. This is exactly why people ask, how come I feel so peaceful in the satsang or in my meditation, but then I lose it when I get back into suffering and pain? Non-duality appears to present a radical new clarity, but clarity is not the same as dissolution, and a vast, freer perspective is not freedom. Now, you will hear this and get it, and feel released again for a while. And then moments later, you will come back to me with the other most common question. Okay, I get that non-duality, or my clear understanding of non-duality, won't take away my suffering, fill me with unshakable peace and joy, or make my meditations and self-inquiry put me into some permanent state of blissful, ego-dissolved awakeness. So, now what do I do? Now what do I do? Nothing. Non-duality is nothing, being everything. But since we think we are something, we think we need to know what we can do. But there's nothing we can do to become nothing. Since we are convinced we are real, there's nothing we can do to directly experience the unreality of everything. What we long for is the infinite. But since we are convinced each of us is a real, self-enclosed, finite reality, there is no way we can ever know the infinite. Indeed, not even the infinite knows the infinite. It is the unknowing. It's the paradox. Indeed, trying to know what to do next, how to live, how to end suffering, what path and practices to do, how to get liberated, is just one more avoidance. your next scheme of how you can avoid what is. Our unwillingness to simply be in the unknown is precisely what obscures being, keeps us feeling separate from being. So what we are sharing here is not a knowing or a teaching of any kind. Nothing is being taught or discoursed here, literally, because there's no one here who needs to learn or know anything. All that seems to be happening here ultimately is that we are friends together and we are sharing something, remembering something, something that maybe we feel we have lost or mislaid. Some here have already remembered. And many have sensed or glimpsed what they thought was lost. So when we say we're having satsangs, which means communing with the truth, the absolute non-dual truth, what we're really doing through sharing and discussion is remembering together. The discussions seem to take place first at the level of exchanging concepts. They're merely concepts, not the truth. But they may create a context and a greater resonance or fragrance in which confused ideas about our original nature can be displaced by a clarity. A clarity that is both uncompromising and mysterious. At another level, what is really being shared is being shared in the silence. The silence that already knows. Just wisdom appearing to speak to wisdom. Nothing appearing to speak to nothing. The exquisite, wonderful, apparent act of the beloved, the one, pretending to be two, so it can delight in looking for itself. And it is recognized here that we are simply sharing and resonating with that which already is, the one and only non-dual one that is. Will that solve anything? Change anything? Bestow knowledge or control or freedom to anything? No. Because there is no one. And yet, one apparent day, nothing may appear to happen to no one. Let's talk again soon.